Twiddler is scared, and he's running away. He asks for the special master, but it turns out, without Cannon bending over backwards and providing the Republicans, Trump, and his legal team every single thing that they need, and then inserting things they never asked, they never requested, or even bringing up. Only then can she help them. They picked Deary because he was a Republican and he hasn't completely gone nuts. He's still a Republican under what they were under George W. Bush. Partisan, would bend over backwards for each other, ignores crimes. However, he's still a judge. And they're demanding the Twiddler team provide even the most basic information. Now, they did go running back to Cannon, whining and complaining. But here's the thing. The Justice Department will only tolerate this so far and so much before Cannon is going to have another appeal on her hands, because her decisions are horrendous. Now, they don't and can't answer what the documents are, or whether there are any documents in there that was planted by the FBI, but it's only a matter of time. Cannon is dragging it out and assuming more and more power for herself. But Trump's guilty, and every single trick to protect him just shows how much of a partisan hack she is. Watch this.
And Andrew Weissman, let me begin with you and where we are with Judge Deary tonight in his special master handling of this case. It was an interesting sequence of revelations about what happened with trying to obtain a vendor to digitize these records. Now, in your experience with vendors like this coming into criminal cases like this, what is your reaction to what we learned about this tonight?
So, as you said, getting a vendor is usually a non-issue. I think there's something we can take away from this, what seems like a sort of small potatoes kind of thing. I think what Donald Trump is doing is quiet quitting. He brought this case. He realizes he is worse off from having brought this case. And that's because he's an 11th Circuit decision now saying that Judge Cannon was totally wrong and that these classified documents are highly sensitive and it is a crime to possess them and he has no right to them. So he's already worse off because 2 judges he appointed have said this and a 3rd judge to boot. Now he's in front of a really good special master who is requiring him to set out certain things, including, as you said, requiring him to say, are you saying, and you need to say it in an affidavit, that any of these documents are stolen or any of these documents are planted. We need to know specifically what you are saying. And he clearly, from the letter the government submitted, is just not participating in the process. And the government says that in their last paragraph. They say, he's the plaintiff. The plaintiff is usually the one who brings the lawsuit because they want relief. And he obviously doesn't have the temerity, to actually just say, you know what, I'm actually just going to dismiss the case. So I think he's just refusing to participate, which is why you see the government having to obtain the vendor when it was obviously his obligation to do it. So this is really his raising a white flag, but trying not to say it. Which, frankly, I think that explains why we've heard that the main lawyer who he hired is now not working on this, and I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to work on this either.
Deary is just asking the basic questions. Trump said there was planted evidence. Trump said it had to do with executive privilege, and he had the right to classified records. But it turns out he can't provide anything in court because the lawyers already know. You do what Trump actually wants, and you go to prison. Cannon went back and tried to take away more power from the special master because he was actually doing it. In the original appointing order, the court directed that the special master shall submit interim reports and recommendations as appropriate. Upon receipt and resolution of any interim reports and recommendations, the court will consider prompt adjustments to the court's orders as necessary. However, the court later struck that language as part of its order implementing an unrelated ruling by the 11th Circuit. As the language quoted above as to the interim reports and adjustments to prior orders is consistent with the 11th Circuit ruling and the efficient administration of the appointing order as amended. The undersigned respectfully recommends that the court issue an order restating that language. That was Dearie telling Cannon that her interference by removing interim reports, which all this would do is speed the process along. Twitler wants to delay, and Cannon, being the partisan hack and having no clue and being completely unqualified for a position, is bending over backwards trying to provide all delay. But the Justice Department will only tolerate her stupidity for so long. They already got part of her order overturned. How much longer can she be this without the Justice Department going over her head? Republicans are cowards. They're pathetic, they're weak, and every single example we have shows just that. Ken Paxton, Texas Attorney General and strongman, was being served papers for a lawsuit. The guy went to his house, asked for him. And what does Paxton do? He runs away. So the professor went up to his door, knocked on it, asked for Ken Paxton. His wife told him he was on a phone call. The guy said he would wait. So he waited there. And when Ken Paxton came out, the coward, the process server tried to do his job. So Paxton ran back in the house like a little coward, then sent his wife out to start up the car, open up the car door, so he could run and jump into the car. Brave man, right? It goes on. Paxton actually defends his actions. And this is how he defends them. It is clear that the media wants to drum up another controversy involving my work as Attorney General, so they're attacking me for having the audacity to avoid a stranger lingering outside my home and showing concern about the safety and well-being of my family. The safety and well-being of his family as he sent his wife out to do the work of a man. Republicans are weak, cowards, and get away with blatantly lying to the media. So his brave, strong, bulletproof wife went out to start up the car with a stranger looking around the house. Yeah, that is a blatant lie, and Paxton is a pussy for hiding behind his wife's skirt. So he went to a judge. Robert Pickman, U.S. District Judge, did 2 requests for Paxton. 1, to squash the subpoena. 2, to seal the order. And he complied with both of them. which is just ridiculous. He went and lied to the court, and they just followed along. Yes, Republican judges are failures, up and down the ticket, from the traitors on the Supreme Court to the lowest judge. Being a Republican should prohibit you from becoming a judge in the first place, because you judge fascists as someone that you should actually vote for seems disqualifying. He goes on to defend himself like this. In the light of the constant threats against me for which dangerous individuals are currently incarcerated, I take a number of common sense precautions for me and my family's safety when I'm at home. Texans do the same to protect themselves from threats, and many also exercise their Second Amendment rights to protect themselves and their families. Yes, sending the wife out to start up your car so you can dash for it because you don't want to be served legal papers really brings out that Second Amendment. Yes, Republicans will scream, yell, and are whiny little cowards. Yeah, 5-year-olds can go into McDonald's without the need to put on guns. But Paxson has to defend himself with guns? It is completely ridiculous, and even more ridiculous that the media is treating this guy as anything else than worthless. Mitch McConnell has this really good knack of convincing corrupt Democrats that he's on their side. He got Kyrsten Sinema, and he also got Manchin. He convinced both these morons that they matter, that they're actually doing something, and they are good people. Funny, huh? Watch this clip.
She is, I've only known Kirsten for 4 years, but she is, in my view, and I've told her this, we're the most effective first-term senator I've seen in my time in the Senate. She is today what we have too few of in the Democratic Party, a genuine moderate and a deal maker.
He continued on saying, she is today what we have too few of in the Democratic Party, a genuine moderate and deal maker. A deal maker, someone that actually accomplished things. He said, the most effective first-term senator I've seen in my time in the Senate. Kyrsten Sinema. Yeah, he's blowing smoke up her ass, and she's so incredibly dumb that she doesn't know any better. That is the problem. These two dummies truly believe that Mitch McConnell is their friend. He continues on with, it took one hell of a lot of guts for Kyrsten Sinema to stand up and say, I'm not going to break the institution in order to achieve short-term goals. Yeah, not going to get rid of the filibuster to actually pass something. What has Kyrsten Sinema passed that actually matters to the American people? Pretty much nothing. She did manage to get a whole bunch of people on her own team quitting, saying Kyrsten Sinema is only doing the bidding of the rich and not looking out for her constituents. She refuses to hold meetings with the constituents because, they don't like her. But Mitch McConnell, on the other hand, loves his new little puppet. How did it work out for Manchin? Republicans are trying to remove him. Yeah. So Mitch McConnell pat him on the back, but come election time, doesn't matter how much Manchin helps out McConnell, Manchin has to go. How did supporting Republicans and running the party into the ground by killing back, build back better, did that help you out with McConnell? No, didn't really do it, because he joined with the liberals to kill Manchin's energy reform bill. And Manchin had his little feelings hurt. McConnell is playing her like a fiddle, and he will give her nothing in return the second she is no longer useful. We need to call these people what they really are. McConnell's puppet, not able to do a single thing. So what about Manchin? His, corrupt energy legislation that he was going to jam down everybody's throats by putting in an amendment pass and tanking the United States economy because he's not going to get his way by shutting down the government. Listen to him whine or what he said after that failed. A failed vote on something as critical and comprehensive permitting reform only serves to embolden leaders like Vladimir Putin who wish to see America fail. Adding, to my firmly held belief that we should never come to the brink of a government shutdown over politics. You know why he doesn't think we should come to a government shutdown over politics now? Because he was going to lose. They did strip it out of the bill, but the only reason he is saying those lies and the media is reporting them is because he lost to the progressives. Republicans aren't going to stand with him. No matter even if they get everything they want. Remember when Obama signed on to Republican proposals and then they ran away? Because helping support a Democrat in anything they do will get you primaried. So trying to work across the aisle with people that actually want to destroy you because they can't actually help you is just idiotic. Pretending anything Manchin says whatsoever as anything other than something we should mock is a failure in intellectual exercise. Manchin's kowtowing to Republicans will always end in his failure. What has Manchin actually accomplished when trying to work in a bipartisan manner, except stop Democrats? That is the question that the media has to answer when they are taking Manchin's opinion on anything political. Check this out.
I would hope that, if 47 of my Republican friends have signed on to a bill extremely similar to this, and knowing how important energy security and energy independence is for our country to remain a superpower and also have control of our own destiny, you would think that maybe 15 or 20 out of 47 would look at this and say it's a time and it's a moment of time. It's basically a time in history. We have never had an opportunity to do this, and we haven't done anything with permitting, Brianna, for the last decade or more. And I don't see a pathway forward in the future. I'm not going to second guess what Mitch would do and what his motives are. I think there'll be a time when he looks back, if he really evaluates this well, that we've never had this opportunity to take a major step forward that we're all in sync with. And now for the Republicans to balk, whether it be about politics or I really don't know why, but I'm hoping that at least 15 or 20 come to the reasonable senses of saying, this is a movement, a moment of time. Let's make sure we take advantage of it.
They sponsored bills similar to what you're trying to push through, and then they kneecap you. It's almost no matter how badly you screw over the Democrats, Republicans still want a Republican in that seat, and they will never help you. Let's not mistake what's actually going on. Vladimir Putin blows up his own pipeline. Now, why would he do this? Because A, it wasn't making him any money. B, if his people put a bullet in the back of his head and then apologized for the UK war, withdrew, the sanctions would be gone. Russia would then be allowed to sell oil to where? Where could they sell gas? Europe, once again. So that pipeline being there put Putin's life in danger, because strong men aren't strong. They're weak. They don't care about their own people. They care about themselves. That's why they're there. So, Putin blowing up his own pipeline, which wasn't making him any money, and a constant threat over his head, makes it less likely that his people will kill him. Now, the right wing is blaming this on Biden. Apparently, Biden is going to blow up pipelines in the middle of the ocean that are not helping Russia whatsoever. Yeah. Republicans don't actually think about things through, nor do they actually understand what is going on. They grab onto one thing, claim a massive conspiracy, and then they promptly forget about it because rational thought is not within them. They don't need it. They got fear and anger, and those stop you from thinking. Pity the Republicans, because that's all you can really do. So, how the Republicans caught to this idiotic notion is Biden proclaimed that if Russia invaded Ukraine, there would no longer be a Nord Stream 2. I promise you we will be able to do it. So how did Biden do it? He convinced Europeans to, not participate, not allowed to pump oil, not allowed to pump gas. That's it. That is all Biden had to do. Now, Tucker Carlson, fearmonger, and delusional moron who just is manipulating the masses for money, said, if you are Vladimir Putin, you would have to be a suicidal moron to blow up your own energy pipeline. That is the one thing you would never do. Yep. Never do that, because then you'd be suicidal. It's truly astonishing. He is saying that America is bringing the world to nuclear war. Republicans have their talking points. Yeah. See, the thing is, Putin was disposed, gas would start flowing. And blowing up those lines makes it so the contracts that Russia signed and are legally required to fill, those become problematic and they could fight them in court. Astonishing how blowing up those pipelines get Russia just about everything they want. Or at least Putin. Now, not only are there Republicans saying that Biden committed an act of international terrorism because they don't actually care what's going on, but now Trump is once again defending Putin. And you'll love the stupidity that Twitter goes to. Truth. U.S. leadership should remain cool, calm, and dry. The Russia-Ukraine catastrophe would have never happened, and would have definitely not happened if I were president. Do not make matters worse with the pipeline blow-up. Be strategic. Be smart. Brilliant! Get a negotiated deal done now! Both sides need and want it. The entire world is at stake. I will head up group. So, moron that couldn't seal a single deal as president now wants to be the negotiator for Ukraine and Russia. Absurd, right? Even absurd that, remain calm, cool, dry, and brilliant. Yeah. Not gonna be. But the Republicans have their talking points. They are to defend Putin because Twitter tells them to. So, Russia, Putin, got exactly what he wanted. Republicans defending him over blowing up his own pipeline because he needed to protect himself, which means damaging his country. That is a strong man for you.
So if you like those videos, please help. The YouTube algorithm is horribly biased against, progressives. And the Republicans have massive amounts of money just to buy it off. So every time you like, every time you put a comment down below, helps us out. So like, subscribe, and if you really want to help the environment, down below is a link to a GoFundMe page where it has a brand new power generation that is 0% carbon emission and one of the cheapest productions of electricity the world has ever had. So go down, help us out.